प्रभु तव मूर्ति विनोदकारी पलपन विसरे नहीं जो विसारी जुगल चरण सोल चिन्ह जेह नजर समीपे रहो हमारी एह। हरे कृष्ण महाराज की जय। Supreme Lord Swaminarayan, our Pujapad Guruji, and all of you devotees who are watching, my humble Jai Swaminarayan. Today's topic is more of a quality that one can possess to really earn merits that are beyond, you can say, reason, intellect, or even this lokik or this world. Merits that can be seen in the eyes of God, saints, and devotees. To introduce the topic, I want to say that to serve someone or to help someone is one of the greatest quality a person can possess. Today we're going to talk about Seva, or service, you can say. Now, Seva can be channeled in three ways: through our mind, our actions, and our speech. You can perform Seva, or meaning service, in these three particular ways. It doesn't matter who you're serving, but these are the three channels which Seva flows through, or it can be done through. Now, let's take a look at a little bit of history. All the past iconic characters, or idols, you can say, or even role models, like Mahatma Gandhi, or Mother Teresa, or Martin Luther King Jr., have attained greatness through Seva, or service, in their community, or even around helping others. Doesn't really have to pertain to just one restriction. Serving others, helping others out, is considered to be Seva, or service. Now, they've attained such kind of greatness, meaning the greatness I'm talking about is not worldly. Yes, people in the world recognize them. Even after they have passed away, it's been a long time, yet people still remember them. They look up to them. They consider them to be a role model. The reason for that is because of their actions, and moreover, because of the service they performed in their community, which really changed, you can say, civilization. The people that we are talking about are real big, you can say, game changers. People who completely change the way civilization works, or mankind works, or it's looked upon. And through their actions, they did it in such a polite manner. They did it not to overthrow someone or not to hurt someone, but not even to gain any kind of fame or any kind of status in the world, but just selfless service, meaning service which has no kinds of desires to gain any kind of materialism or any other kind of qualities, you can say. Such kind of selfless service was done by these people, and due to that, their greatness was recognized by all. And yet we still remember these characters on and on. We use them as examples. So service is such a great thing that it pretty much turns or transforms a person's life and makes them great, even on the spiritual scale, as well as, you can say, the social scale as well. Now, a little more deeper in, Mahatma Gandhi. Let's take a look. He served his country selflessly, without any desires. Meaning, when the British had control over the country of India, Britain was ruling India, and obviously the Hindu sect over there or the whole group, you can say, wanted independence from them. Well, it was not done through wars. It was not done through fighting. But Mahatma Gandhi came along and he did it through his actions. He fasted. He showed that he wanted India to become independent. He showed it through his words. He used his brain instead of his physical body to gain independence for India. And he was one of the biggest masterpieces or biggest keys, you can say, to unlocking the independence of India. So that's why we remember Mahatma Gandhi. Number 2, Mother Teresa. What a great person that all her life, she completely dedicated her life to serving the poor, the needy, and nourished them with love like a mother would. Kids who were abandoned by their mother or were orphans, such kinds of kids were given love by Mother Teresa, and due to her love, due to her great qualities that she possessed, we remember her today. All this was because of service. She served the community. She served the people around her, and due to that, her greatness was recognized. Just think how much service, how much it weighs really in a person's heart. For example, just like a regular person, we go shopping in grocery shops to buy vegetables, and we always see old people going out to their car with their cart and groceries. Now, obviously, they have to put it in the car, but due to their age, it's very difficult. So, there's always someone that helps the person put all the vegetables and put everything in the car. But even more than that, that elderly person remembers that person who helped them and appreciates them. They even achieve, that person, that helper even achieves a little part of happiness from their heart. And that person becomes happy on such another person. Not knowing, there is no ID. That elderly person doesn't even know this person who is helping you yet. That person attains some kind of blessings. This is the fruits of Seva. Or you can say, this is what we really have to attain. But we're going to talk about the spiritual aspects soon. But before that, the last person on my list, Martin Luther King Jr. He served his community by giving the world a new perspective, meaning completely taking out the skin color factor that before played a big factor in racism in this country was at large. But due to his speeches, due to his actions, his boycotts, due to everything he did, now people with other people with other skin color, now they're not looked upon as differently. This is what kind of great work he's done, and this is the kind of service he's done in the community. So these 3 people are huge factors in our life, in everyone's life, because they've changed mankind for the better, not through any kind of hurt or not through any kind of, you can say, giving others pain, but through their own actions, through their own qualities, through their own speech. They've completely changed, and they've earned the blessings of everyone. So, in short, where there is no selfless motive, that is called Seva. Meaning, you have no desire to gain any kind of fame or any kind of other materialistic pleasures or anything. All you want to do is selfless Seva. No desires but to please the person ahead of you. This is the true, you can say, form. This is the true, you can say, way to do Seva. And I want you to remember that it is better to do seva, or it is better to serve someone than to be served. Meaning, just think about a person who is serving someone. It looks very good instead of one ordering others around and serving them. And the act of service is a great merit in the eyes of Shree Maharaj as well. Now, first and foremost, let's get into the dynamics of seva. There's two types of seva. Obviously, physical and mental. So the physical part, meaning when we use our body, serving saints through our bodily services like mopping, cleaning. These are bodily services, using your body, going to the temple, or, even at your home, cleaning. This is called service. Sure, it might not be for Bhagwan, but it's still considered to be service. And the second note is on a mental aspect. Now, Gunatan Swami's Vato, Swami says that serve according to one's own faith, but never do disservice. What is considered to be disservice? To perceive faults in others. So what he means by this is by mentally thinking good qualities about others, like great saints and devotees, it's also considered to be service. Just by thinking in your mind that, look at this person, he has great qualities, he has affection for Bhagwan, he has affection for saints, he is very, very, very staunch in his faith. Taking qualities from others is also considered to be service. It may not be physical. Right now, there's people think that service is just considered to be physical, but that is just, you can say, the surface of it. The real iceberg, underneath the ocean, underneath the water, you can say, is this mental service. And through that, one becomes completely divine. And one also attains the qualities. It kind of goes as a formula. However one perceives someone else, that's how one becomes. So if one perceives one to be very, very greedy, then even if one is not greedy, one still becomes it. Because in one's mind, that constant repetition goes on, and slowly it goes into one's actions. That's why it's always good to perceive good qualities in others. And also it benefits one beyond one's imagination. One can think that if, for example, if one just thinks about people's qualities in a good way for 6 months, then slowly those qualities start to be seen in that person, and one cannot even recognize, how did this quality get into me? But that quality was installed in you when you started to think good about others. So it's kind of like a perspective, a vision. One needs this vision to really attain true happiness in this religion. And each and every person should have this kind of vision. In the scriptures, it said that to abide by the code of conducts is easy, meaning to follow, according to what Bhagwan is saying in Shikshapatri and Vachanamrut. Sure, that's easy. To perform austerities, meaning penance, that's also somewhat easy. But to serve selflessly is a very hard concept to grasp. Selflessly is the key word here. Everyone does service here. We see people physically serving. We might not see them mentally serving, but we can also tell that they're also, they're a good person. They think good about others by their speech. But the word selfless is very important, and it's a key part in service. Everyone serves, but a person who serves selflessly gains more points. It's kind of like a bonus. If you have work and you have a salary, and every year you get paid a certain amount, but at the end of the year there's a bonus, right? That's the bonus of selflessly serving others. Now, let's look at some benefits on a religious perspective on serving. There are many benefits of serving, but first, one needs some kind of direction, obviously. Who to serve, who can't you serve? I mean, there's also limits of who can't you serve. Because if some other evil person, if you serve them, then they might guide you in the wrong direction. You might think that I'm serving this person, but sure, through their influence, you might be thrown off the path of liberation. That's why one needs that discrimination factor in order to really know that this is who I should serve and this is who I shouldn't serve. Just like how if there's a sailboat, but there's no wind, one cannot go anywhere, right? In the same way, if one doesn't know who to serve, then one would not get the fruits or reach the destination one is supposed to. Now, Shashtriji Maharaj has stated in the Shikshaprati that I like the ones who do the service of God, saints, and devotees, and that is what I believe to be liberation. It's not hard to do the service if you know what direction. It's not hard to do the service if you know that your service is selfless. That is why one should learn these kinds of qualities in order to really serve and get the fruits that one is supposed to. Now let's look at some benefits of service. First and foremost, it eradicates or nullifies our vasana, meaning desires. For countless millions of years, we've been bound by desires. That's why we're still in this cycle of life and death. And that's why we have not attained the abode of God. But there's a way to break this bondage of Maya and to reach the path or reach the abode of God, Akshardham. And one way is to do Seva, obviously, but this is the benefit. It eradicates the vasana and nullifies them. You may say, how? Well, let me give you an example. In the time of Shashtriji Maharaj, there was a devotee by the name of Ukakachar. Now, Ukakachar was such a devotee that he would wake up 3 a.m. in the morning. Nowadays, we go to sleep in 3 a.m., but this devotee would wake up 3 a.m. in the morning, and what he would do was he would sweep the way from Dada Khatar's Darbar, where all the saints and Maharaj resided, to the way of Gela River, where they took a bath there. Obviously, they had no facilities like we do right now of showers and all kinds of equipment. The saints and devotees and everyone used to bathe in rivers. So, from Dada Khatar's Darbar to Gela River was a little long distance, but in that pathway, there was always obviously some kinds of thorns or stones that might hurt saints and devotees and also Maharaj while walking in the morning there. So Ukakachar would wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and he would sweep the whole way from Dada Khatar's Darbar to Gela River, the whole way, selflessly, without any kinds of motives that I would be recognized or I would be known for this kind of deed. Nothing, just selflessly did this every day in his morning activity, or you can say routine. He also washed and folded saints' clothes. Every day he had a routine from 3 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon, and then he would leave to go take care of his home duties. But such was a devotee that he had this kind of service. And due to that kind of service, due to that kind of addiction, you can say, Shriji Maharaj said in the Vachanamrut, Gadada, middle chapter 25th Vachanamrut, Muktan Swami first asked, if one has such strong worldly desires and wishes to eradicate them, by what means can it be eradicated? Shriji Maharaj says, he answered back, just as Ukakachar has become addicted to serving the sadhu, in the same way, if one becomes addicted to serving God and his saints, even without a moment lapsing, then all of the impure desires in one's mind would be destroyed. This is the fruits of service. But the word there that one needs to highlight is addicted. One needs to become addicted to serving saints, Maharaj, and devotees. This is the main word. Sure, we do service, but we may come every Saturday or every Sunday, once in a week, and do service for maybe 1 hour and then leave. But addiction is something different. Just think. People in the world are addicted to drugs, right? Or even alcohol or cigarettes. They cannot even live one day without these kinds of substances. Not even one day. And if they didn't have it for one day, they would completely go crazy. They would not be able to function. They would not be able to work properly, I guess, as a human being. This is the kind of addictions people have nowadays. In the same way, if one cannot live without the service of God, his saints, and his devotees, then just like how Shree Maharaj had to say, all of one's impure desires would be eradicated. This is the first and foremost factor and benefit of doing service. The second benefit, it purifies one's soul, you can say. Now, I have another example. How does it purify? Well, again, Shree Maharaj says in Gurdara, 1st chapter, 8th Vachamrut, if the vrittis of the indriyas, meaning the senses, are engaged in the service of God and his bhakta, meaning saints and devotees, then the mind is purified and the sins that have been attached to the soul since time immemorial are all destroyed. Meaning, one needs to engage one's senses, focus them all in the service of God and his saints and devotees. When one applies this benefit, or when one applies this technique, then all of the sins that have been attached from innumerable time is all destroyed. So this is the second benefit. And the third benefit is one receives the blessings of God, saints, and devotees. Now I want to tell you a small story about that. When I think about service, I think out of these three benefits, the first benefit being eradicates, nullifies vasana. Second benefit being it purifies our soul. They kind of go hand to hand. And third benefit, one receives the blessings of God, saints, and devotees. I think the blessings is the best benefit out of the other two. The reason why I say this is because to earn the blessings of such kinds of great saints and great devotees is pretty much the fruits of this whole satsang fellowship, of this whole religion. After doing everything, we cannot say that we are capable of doing everything. We cannot say we are capable of becoming the best that easily. But by the blessings of the great saint and his devotees that are also spiritualized, that will get you somewhere far beyond and will help you attain an elevated spiritual state. That's why to gain the blessings of everyone around you is such a benefit. And what I honestly think is the past three people that we talked about, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Martin Luther King Jr., all these three people really gained the blessings of all the other people around them. The surrounding people made a big factor in their life. And they received some kind of blessings, and due to that, they completely changed and completely turned around mankind, you can say. So, getting back to my point, I want to tell you a small story about Gunatitananda Swami. Gunatitananda Swami was once bathing in a river. It was the winter time, and the river was cold. But according to dharma, or you can say daily rituals, one had to bathe and perform puja, and it was Swami's daily routine. So Swami even bathed, in all his santos, or all his other santos that were with him. They were bathing, and when Swami came out, due to the cold, freezing water, he became unconscious because of the hyperthermia. So from afar, there was a family, a mother, a boy, and his sister. And what they did for an occupation was they cut wood and they would sell it to others for money. And that's how they lived off. That's how they bought food and clothes. But that day, they had collected the wood, and they saw this action that Gunatitananda Swami fell unconscious. So the mother was worried, and what she told her little boy was that, take the bundle of wood that we have gathered for today and go and make a fire next to Swami so his body would warm up, and again he would gain consciousness. The boy asked his mother that, what will we eat and what will we wear today? The mother replied, you don't worry about that. Go and do what I said. So the boy, without any question, went next to Swami with the bundle of wood and made a fire. Slowly, Swami's body started to heat up, and then Swami gained consciousness. Then all his saints around him told him what had happened, that this boy had made a fire, and due to that fire, your body warmed up again, Swami, and now you're conscious. Swami was so pleased. He said, please ask, what would you like? The boy said that my mother and my sister and my situation is not good financially or in any way, and we do this for a living, and it's very hard for us to get by. So please grace us. Swami said that it would be done, and he left. That's it. So, while the family was continuing to collect wood on their daily routine after Swami had left, the king of that village saw the mother, the brother, and the sister collecting wood. The king saw the sister especially, and he desired to marry her. So everything was arranged, and the king became married to the sister of the boy. But due to that marriage, the boy and the mother were also brought into the kingdom. And the boy was made into the head leader, was made of the head leader of the whole army of the king. And the mother also enjoyed luxuries in the kingdom. This is the kind of blessings Gunatitananda Swami gave to the boy, the mother, and the sister. Just by the grace of a true saint, their complete fortune, their destiny completely changed, and they became happy once and for all. So these are the three main benefits of service. Now, I want to tell you something. The human body is a gift given by God for performing Seva. Our intelligence, our hands, our feet, our speech, each and every aspect of our body should be used to help others. That's my message to you. One should never do the disservice, meaning one should never physically or even mentally try to hurt someone. But one should do the service as much as one's capacity. One doesn't have to go beyond one's capacity, but at least do something to help others without any kind of selfless motives, to really gain the blessings and to really turn one's life into something beyond what someone imagined for themselves. Now, how should one perform seva? That comes into play now. We talked about seva. There's 2 types of seva. We even talked about a couple of things about what kinds of sevas, how can it be done. But now, how should one perform seva? What is the formula for success? Number 1 is understanding the glory of God, saints, and devotees. In the spiritual and the religious aspect, when you're doing seva or when you're serving someone, you should understand their glory, their supremacy, and then do seva. Number 2, you should have motive to please others. There should be some kind of motive in your heart that you want to please this person. When I do this service, I want to please this person. And number 3, effort rendered without any selfless motive or expectation. This is also important. So we should not expect any kind of other, you can say fruits or any kind of expectations. We should only do it to please the person. This is the true way to do seva. This is the true formula to perform seva. And when one does such kind of seva without any expectations and only to please that person, one gains the blessings. And slowly, one really gains a spiritual aspect in life. And one day, one becomes great. Maybe not in this world, but in the eyes of Bhagwan, saints, and devotees. Saying this, my humble Jai Swaminarayan. Sri Patim Sridharam Sarvadeveswaram Bhakti Dharmatmajam Vasudevam Hare Madhavam Kesavam Kamadam Karanam Swaminarayanam Nilakandham Bhaje Hare Krishna Maharajani Jai.